Jason, as it is this and every single week, today's episode of the Lee Summit Town Hall podcast is brought to the good people by Budget Blinds of Lee Summit.
Budget Blinds!
I don't know if you know this or not, but October, it's safety month in the window treatment world.
It seems like a lot of months are safety month, to be honest.
It is, but this is a particular emphasis on safety. And remember, the best way to be safe? Automation.
All hail our very safe robot overlords.
Automated shades provide a safer environment for children and pets due to their cordless nature. They are also programmable, and they allow you then to take advantage of the natural weather.
That is true. You can keep it hot. Keep the hot side hot and the cold side cold, and that was a shout-out.
To the McDLT.
To the McDLT. All us old folks know what that is. But not only is Budget Blinds here to tell you about how to make a safer and healthier environment for your home, but they're going to do some other good as well.
And that's why we love partnering with Budget Blinds in the community. Coming up, October 10th, Budget Blinds is hosting a special after-hours event to benefit Hope House. This is part of the Why I Care campaign. You've probably seen this going on social media as different people are stepping forward and saying why they care about domestic violence and stopping it.
Absolutely. So come to Budget Blinds on the 10th of October to support Hope House and be part of that campaign and make everyday life just a little bit easier, a little bit safer, and a little bit more secure at Budget Blinds.
So go see our friends at Budget Blinds in downtown Lee Summit. Tell them Jason and Nick sent you. Jason, when you're done punching the microphone stand, it is time to remind the good people Chili Fest is a-coming.
It's like T-minus 10 days to Chili Fest.
No, I am very excited for this. Chili Fest, October 5th, downtown Lee Summit, right behind the Bridge Space Studios.
Right behind the Bridge Space Studios. The proceeds from this will benefit Coldwater of Lee Summit, who is, by the way, one of the great, great charities here in our city. And you have an opportunity, if you want to sign up for a team, to make competition chili, home-style chili, wings, or salsa. Or if you're more of an eating kind of person rather than a making kind of person, you can come in, buy yourself a spoon, and go around and sample everything that everybody else has to offer. It's a fantastic time. And by the way, you're going to get an opportunity to come and have some Lee Summit Town Hall vittles.
That's right. We're cooking chili. We're cooking wings. We're making salsa. And Jason, I got an announcement.
Uh-oh.
There's a rumor going around.
What's that? We're bringing in a ringer.
We're going to have a hot dog eating contest at this thing. And I think it's going to pit members of the Lee Summit Fire Department Union against members of the police union. Winner takes all. We're going to see who the best hot dog eaters of our public servants are.
Is the prize like Aldi and acid and the other side has to suffer through without it? Or what's the issue?
Yes. And it results in a nice donation to local charities. So this is a cool thing. And like, how much fun is it to see everything you can get fire versus police, right? It's kind of fun.
Right. You always want to get those guys working against each other for the common good. That's a big plus. And we've been so excited, we even practiced.
That's right.
So we got together. We put together some of our Chili Fest items up to create for that, and we sampled amongst ourselves. And I'm going to say this. We did pretty good.
I tallied myself a winner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be clear. I got to eat it, so I was a winner.
There we go. So head over bridgespace.us/chilifest for more information, and come on downtown on October 5th to have some good eats and support a local cause. We'll see you there. Hello and welcome to this Friday conversation edition of the Lee Summit Town Hall podcast. I have special guests today, John Beaudoin and Hilary Graves. Guys, welcome, and let's talk about a really awesome public art project that is coming to Lee Summit. John, I'm going to start with you. This was an idea that you picked up on one of your travels. You like to go visit other downtown areas around the country, and you stole this from my hometown.
Joplin.
You stole it from Joplin.
Right, yeah. Well, my travels sometimes only take me just down 71 Highway, but
Well, look, it's a good highway.
it's a good highway. Lots of fun things happen on 71, and I thought that it
No.
would be. I thought
This is false.
I thought it would be fun to go to. We've heard a lot about downtown Joplin, and of course they've revitalized the heck out of their downtown since the tornado. And it was one of those things where we wanted to go see downtown Joplin and see what they had brought to their downtown as far as entertainment, as far as bars and restaurants and other things to do. And then you're walking through their downtown, and there's this huge mural that says "I am Joplin," and there's 200 faces on it, and if you're not from there, and if you're into that sort of thing in public art, it really stops you in your tracks, and you think, okay, this is a great idea. How did they do this? How much did it cost? Who was behind it? And how do I bring that to my hometown?
So you are starting. You're going to call this "We Are Lee Summit."
We Are Lee Summit. Yeah.
And this is going to be a giant photo project with I'm assuming as many different pictures of people from the community as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've been talking with the Joplin Alliance and with some other people that were involved in that project, and kind of just going through the steps about, and really, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Everyone's got a work plan for something they do in their downtown or a public art project. So we decided to kind of take that idea and open it up to the public. We want as many people part of this project as possible. I don't know how many pictures. We've kind of mapped this out and measured where it's going to be and what wall it's going to go on and how many pictures we might need. But yeah, we absolutely want this to be very much a representation of the community. People standing in front of a camera, holding a little quote-shaped chalkboard saying, "I am," or "We are." We are a family, or "I am a survivor," or "I am a doctor," or "We are friends," or whatever it is that And again, it's that kind of what I wrote about in my column this week. It's that one word that how do you capture yourself or capture your family in one word? And sometimes that's a lot of fun. People have had a lot of fun with it so far, and in the dry run we did, and of course tonight we're going to be doing a lot of photography downtown because we got Oktoberfest going on, so a lot of people will be down there.
Hilary, you're a part of this as well, and I know that you usually like to be quiet and stay in the background of things.
That's funny.
I'm intrigued.
Listen, if you're in a relate or done anything with John, you're always the second quietest in the room. I think we all know that.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm intrigued by this kind of this exercise of we not only are defining kind of the community, but we're doing it by defining ourselves and coming up with this word or phrase that defines us or our family unit. So how are you kind of envisioning this plan?
Well, I think one of the hardest things we saw with the dry run were people trying to think of the one word that describes them because, you go into your home and you're known as, "I'm the mom, I'm the caretaker." You step outside and you say, "Well, no, I'm a teacher, I'm an activist, I'm a PTA." And so you try to find that one word that describes you. And we saw on the dry run that was kind of the hardest part, the part that took the most time for people. So, but yeah, we want that one word that you say, like, at this moment, this is what I'm feeling. I am this. So we're hoping people will think about it and come and we saw lots of different words that I didn't even think of this first dry run.
And some pride in Lee Summit and being from here. This is we have a complicated history like a lot of cities do, but we don't have a lot of you can look at some of our neighbors and sometimes think Harry Truman from Independence or different things in Kansas City, and we have obviously some very famous people, Pat Metheny and other people from Lee Summit, but we want to kind of bring that pride in that community back about what is it about yourself that makes it special for you to be in Lee Summit at this moment in time. And we saw people on our first photo run that have lived here for just a couple of years and people that have lived here their entire lives. So we kind of run that gamut, and people that hopefully will envision what this public art project is about, because there's not a lot of public art. Let's just say it in Lee Summit. We could always use more. We always want to encourage public art in any of our projects that we're doing, any new buildings that go up, or especially in our downtown. So we're hoping this adds just a little bit to the public art piece of Lee Summit.
Well, let me put you guys on the spot real quick. What are some words that you thought of for yourself?
No, I can't say something.
What we call each other. Or no.
I am in trouble.
No. But we thought I put I'm an activist up there because I think if you know me at all, that's a word that you would do to describe me. But well, I had my girls up there, and they picked we are sisters.
Addie, did a couple of different takes with her, but she, I am a drummer, and we had families go up there and say, we. One person wrote "I am bald," so we've had all sorts of fun. And I wrote "I am a storyteller" for years and years of writing in Lee Summit, and just writing in general. I kind of consider myself somewhat of a storyteller in the community. So yeah, we're hoping people kind of dig in and find those things that truly. And that was one of the coolest things about the Joplin project, was going through and just kind of walking down that wall on the side of that building that day, and just seeing what defined everybody, what they wrote, and the kids. What was the one? There was
the little girl did the "I am a dancer," and she's in a little dance costume, but she spelled dancer DANSER, which was cute, adorable.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing about the project is, I think that when it's all up and you're looking at it and you come across it in the alley there, I think it'll be fun to see. Like I played soccer with this guy, or this is who I go to school with, or oh my gosh, that's the woman that is the cashier at Hy-Vee every time I go in, and to see what kind of describes them, because you don't know, the Hy-Vee cashier might be a guitar player, or she might do it, have a different label for herself than what you see her in the community. So I think that's a fun part of the project.
Just as an aside, you remind me, we need to go invite the cashier from Hy-Vee now, right? We need to go up to Hy-Vee.
I think that's a good point. This will be, and we'll talk about where you're going to do this installation in a second, but this will be in downtown. You're going to do the pictures in downtown starting tonight, but you aren't looking for just downtown residents, downtown business people. You are looking for everyone throughout the community.
Yeah, we're looking from all parts of Lee Summit to come out and get your picture taken and represent your little corner of the world.
Every zip code, all the way to east to Blue Springs and south to Cass County and west and north. We'd like to see a good cross section of the community, and we've put out some invites to some elected officials. We put out some invites now to Lee Summit Arts Council and some different organizations. We want to make sure that everyone is that's going to be, that perhaps could be the most difficult part of this at one point, is maybe figuring out who's going to ultimately be on the installation, which is why Hilary's been fantastic about being the organizer of this with the photo releases and with the line on there that says, just because you're doing this doesn't necessarily mean you'll make it on the installation. But we want to obviously try to include everyone that we possibly can.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the physical installation itself, because right now you're starting tonight to take the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Where is this going to be, and what's it going to look like?
Well, we've had a wonderful opportunity with Tim Hossman, who owns the building at 10 Southwest 3rd Street, which is Grains and Taps. And Tim we've had a couple meetings with Tim, and Tim has offered to kind of help us through that process to install this public art project just on the outside of that wall at Grains and Taps. So it's going to be in the east facing wall in the alley there, which is going to be great, because we're in downtown. You've got even though we're a very geographically small downtown, there are different things that our downtown is known for, just in little pockets. You've got your 3rd and Douglas pocket, and then you've got a couple of places that are off the beaten path, and we've worked real hard to kind of beef up the west side of the tracks, if you will, and that's where I office, and that's where Grains and Taps is. Lots of things are happening on the west side of the tracks right now with some new businesses opening. So we thought it was a great idea to try to look there. And the connection there with Tim is his brother Chris is a professional photographer, and Chris is doing the photos for us. So we've kind of got both of them involved in this process, and we've physically gone out and measured the wall and said, okay, is this going to be 6 foot this way, and what space are we going to leave for this? And there are things that we'll have to move, concessions we have to make on the building, but it's going to be just a little off the building, so that the actual art project won't hang on the building, but it will be displayed in a way that in a couple of years, if that project needs to move or be displayed somewhere else, other public art could go in that installation.
I like the idea of kind of a living installation that
Yeah.
can change and evolve as we change.
Right.
Well, let's talk. We've mentioned a couple times that the photo sessions are kind of starting
Yes.
tonight. So what is that? When is that? How can people participate?
So if you come down tonight, the 27th at 5:30, we're going to shoot from 5:30 to 7:30, or as long as we have enough light to keep taking the photos.
Right.
Right there in, I call it the downtown alley, but it is where the
downtown Main Street.
organization, yeah.
13 Southeast Main.
By Blue Heron is what I tell
Oh, I'm
people.
sorry, 13 Southeast 3rd. Did I say
Right,
Main?
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's
by
the alley
Blue Heron, where it says
between
Dayton
L&M and between Blue Heron.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go down there. It's
Dayton
like
Hotel.
you're on your way to Stewie's.
That's true. It's right where the where the Dayton Hotel sign is too.
If
And
you're
so
on your way to or Arcade Alley.
Right.
And listen, we'll take a picture on the way in or on the way out. Yeah, I mean, you choose how you want your community to see you. No, but yeah, if you pop in there, you're going to have your word ready, and you're going to fill out a quick release form that just says, we're going to use your picture and we're not going to pay you. And so you fill out that, and we'll snap a picture. We can do one person, and we can do up to 3 in a picture. So if you are uncomfortable with just you standing there and you want to bring a friend, we'd love that too. So we had some people do that on our last one, and it turned out great. So should only take about 5 or 6 minutes. So pop in. We'd love to see you.
We want to keep that line moving, to steal a phrase from the Royals, I guess.
While you're wearing Royals gear.
I'm wearing all the Royals gear. I'm thinking about Ned Yost today. But no, we want to make sure that people have that word in mind. We're going to have volunteers that evening to kind of keep that line going, get people in. Chris is really good at what he's doing, so he's literally lining people up, snapping a few pictures, and moving on to the next one. And then at some point we will take all those images, we'll look at the creative part of that, and then look at who's going to do this printing on some metal, and we hope to roll this out in the spring.
Yeah.
And the great thing is this is happening during the first Friday of Oktoberfest tonight. So hopefully you guys, if
we'll
you're
have a
already
big
out
crowd.
there, you can just head right into the alley
Yeah.
and take the picture. Are you planning on other days of photo shoots, or are you trying to maybe fill that wall with this one session?
We would love to fill this wall with this one session. We took at our first photo shoot that we were doing trial and error shots. We took about 30 photos that we think we can use. So we need at least 120, 130 to come out and see us. We would love 200 photos, and
Right,
so,
just to make sure that we have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
may need to, depend. Of course, always depends on weather and other factors. But we'd love to have. We don't want to do too many photos, but we want to have enough that when we plot it out and we design it out, that we have enough. And we may need to do another night, but it's going to be great with Oktoberfest. There will just be that built-in traffic walking around downtown tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, tell me this. I know, John, this is something you did that trip to Joplin last spring. Late winter, early spring. You've been a little excited about this, so I guess kind of as a storyteller, you just said that was the word you chose. Was
Right.
I am a storyteller.
Right.
So as a storyteller, what really kind of drew you in and made you want to? I love R&D, rob and duplicate, steal other people's ideas and make them your own. Why did you want to grab this and make it something for your community?
Well, the mural itself really spoke to me. I think it was the faces. It was just the close-up pictures of the people in the community, and you look at that mural in Joplin, and then you start to really dig into, and this from being from there and having probably helped out during the tornado. What that community went through in the aftermath of that tornado, and putting that project up was probably very healing for that community. We're not bringing a project like that here because we need some sort of magic moment, healing moment in Lee Summit necessarily, but it's never a bad idea to promote public art and promote faces and promote people that live here and make Lee Summit their community. And so that's the kind of thing that you say, what is the catalyst that's going to bring that here? Well, it was simply seeing it and saying, man, that's really cool. And there's been other things in other downtowns that we've looked at, that I've looked at, and said, man, I think that'd be a great idea here. This is a thing that if you put the right people in place, which obviously we have, because Hilary is a fantastic organizer and keeps everything kind of in check, and you say, okay, if we do this and we check all the boxes, can we take something from just a conceived idea in our head to completion, and that's really the exciting part for me on this is can we actually make this happen? And now it feels more real than it did a month ago. That's for sure.
I think, and I said this to you guys when we were talking the other day, that I kind of like the idea because during some of the public controversies and
right.
hard talks we've had over the last 18 months or so, and different topics, but
right.
you keep hearing people who get upset at some of the back and forth on social media,
right.
and that, hey, this isn't Lee Summit. This isn't who we are. And now here's a chance to really everybody to go in and define, this is who we are. This is who I am and my role in the community. And I like that. I think as many people having that voice to say who they are and where they fit into the community is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I haven't heard. There's been some public controversies in this summit. No. Okay,
We don't do that.
That's for another podcast.
That's for a different podcast.
We do that one on Wednesdays. We do that one on
But
Wednesdays.
since you don't have opinions, you haven't been invited.
I have no opinions on anything. You're right. Yeah.
Well, John, Hilary, I want to thank you guys for not only for coming on the show, because I always like it when people come on and tell good stories, but thank you both for bringing a new project. And as chair of our city's Arts Council, I want to say thank you for bringing a public art project into the community. That's something we are always looking to help add as well and to support. So thank you both.
You're welcome.
Nick, thanks for having us on. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, that will wrap up our episode for this week. We will talk to everyone on Monday. Jason, today's episode of the Lee Summit Town Hall podcast is brought to the people by Shred KC.
Shred KC, home of the Shred Podcast.
The Shred Podcast, another one of our Fredcast network. Listen, if you are looking for a reason or a way to stick to a new lifestyle change, a healthy lifestyle change, Ryan Waters, owner of Shred KC, Aaron Simpson, owner of Anytime Fitness, these two guys are on a mission, and this podcast, the Shred Podcast, has been a fantastic resource for not just tips on how to eat better, how to work out, how to stay motivated. They really kind of fit into on just some of that mental aspect of sticking with things and holding yourself accountable and being responsible.
Yep, I think that's it's a great podcast. And look, those guys they are what we would call exemplars of being in really good shape. And
Look, they're freaks of nature.
And we are not.
Let's be honest.
And we are not, to be honest. So I think if you're looking to, but on top of that, they're not standing on top of that very high hill of fitness and health and looking down upon the little people with judgment. They're looking down and they want to reach down.
Well, they're looking down because they're both very tall.
They're both very tall, and they are at the very peak of the fitness thing. But they're reaching down to bring you up to closer to where they are, because I'm not sure that there is a world in which I could get anywhere in the area code or ballpark of Ryan Waters Fitness, but I mean, as a whole, they're there to encourage you to bring more people into that kind of a healthy lifestyle. They're not here to make you feel bad about not being where they are.
Right, and they do a fantastic job of helping you when they work with you as a coach. They do a fantastic job of helping you kind of define what your goals are and how to get there. And the podcast is just a fantastic resource and good motivation as you learn to live a healthy lifestyle. You have been listening to Lee Summit Town Hall, a Link to Lee Summit podcast with hosts Nick Parker and Jason Norberry. A proud member of the Fredcast Network, you can subscribe to this podcast on most of your favorite podcast apps and catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for all the news, analysis, and conversations on the Lee Summit community. Connect with us on Facebook at Link to Lee Summit or on Twitter at LS Town Hall.